Welcome, everyone. I am Bob Wurzelbacher, the director of the Respect Life Office for the Archdiocese of Cincinnati, and this is our video podcast series that we call Being Pro-Life. Each month, we'll discuss a different topic in the Respect Life arena. We'll hear a personal story from someone deeply affected by that issue. And finally, we'll share ways that you can get involved. This month's topic is abortion pill reversal. Today, we have several guests. Will you please introduce yourselves?
Well, hello, Bob. My name is Dr. George Delgado. I'm the president of the Steno Institute and also the founder of Abortion Pill Reversal, which is now known as Abortion Pill Rescue.
Hi, my name is Dr. Ann Mayo, and I'm the medical director for Elizabeth's New Life Center in Dayton.
My name is Rebecca Hagan, and I was helped by the Abortion Pill Reversal Network.
My name is Sarah Herm, and I am a client of the Abortion Pill Reversal Hotline.
So, Dr. Delgado, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us, what is the abortion pill? What does it do?
The abortion pill, also known as mifepristone or RU-486, is a medical abortion. And in the United States, these days, 35 to 45% of the 1 million abortions per year are committed using mifepristone. In other words, taking this drug is replacing a woman going and having a surgical abortion. And it's approved up to 10 weeks of pregnancy. The protocol for the abortion is to take the mifepristone and then 48 hours later take a second drug called misoprostol. The mifepristone causes the death of the preborn baby, while the misoprostol causes the uterus to contract to expel the remains. Now, unlike the surgical abortion, the woman has an option. That window of opportunity between the two drugs after taking the mifepristone, if she changes her mind, she has a second chance at choice, because abortion pill reversal offers her that opportunity to stop the medical abortion, to reverse the effects of mifepristone. That's what abortion pill reversal, the process, is all about.
How does the process work?
The way the process works is that, first of all, a woman, of course, has to decide that she wants to stop the medical abortion. But what we do then is we have a doctor or a clinic or a nurse practitioner, midwife, or physician assistant treat the patient who will prescribe progesterone. Generally, these days, we're using progesterone given orally by mouth. And we like to get it on board as soon as possible, preferably within the first 24 hours. However, we have had success up to 72 hours. And the woman takes the progesterone at relatively high doses for 3 days, because 3 days is when the highest levels of mifepristone are in the body. And then it goes down to a nighttime dose until the end of the first trimester, which has been a very common practice in medicine when women are pregnant and have low progesterone states. So we know that it's a safe thing to do.
So, doctor, is there a birth defect risk with this procedure after you've taken this first pill?
Well, Bob, many women ask about the risk of birth defects, and that's really a great question that I always want to address. We published last year in 2018 a large study looking at over 260 women who had successful reversals. And in that study, we found that the birth defect rate among these babies that were born after reversal was no different, and in fact a little lower than the general population's birth defect rate. So we can say with great confidence that a woman undergoing mifepristone reversal, abortion pill reversal, does not have an increased risk of having a baby with birth defects. If you look first at mifepristone itself, the other studies done with mifepristone where babies have survived mifepristone abortions have not shown an increased risk in birth defects. And in fact, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists came out with a statement in 2014, which they reaffirmed in 2016, saying that mifepristone itself does not cause birth defects. So it either ends the life of the preborn baby or it does not harm the preborn baby. And that's because it's attacking the placenta, not directly attacking the baby. Now, the other medication is progesterone. We've been using progesterone in pregnancy for over 50 years. It's considered very safe. And in fact, the in vitro fertilization doctors routinely put women who become pregnant with their treatments on progesterone for the entire first trimester in order to avoid miscarriage. So we've had a great history of safety with progesterone. And the Food and Drug Administration has come out with a statement back in 1999 stating that progesterone does not cause birth defects. So we're very confident that abortion pill reversal is safe and effective.
For all of our listeners out there, you'll be able to go to our website at catholiccincinnati.org/being-pro-life. And on that page, you'll be able to see the sources that Dr. Delgado had just mentioned of those studies that allow us to say quite confidently that the abortion pill reversal treatment does work, is effective, and does not cause birth defects.
So we're very happy with that. We think we really are giving women a great option for those who seek a second chance at choice.
So Rebecca, let's turn to you. Can you share us your story?
So I found out I was pregnant with my first child when I was 17. It was actually the summer right before my senior year. It was not supposed to happen to a girl like me. My parents were on the worship team. I attended church. I went to a really great school, was definitely going to college, and still I found myself pregnant. And thankfully at the time, even though we didn't discuss abortion in the home, I really considered myself pro-life. And so I never even thought about terminating my pregnancy. I chose life for that baby. I graduated high school early, turned 18, got my driver's license, and delivered my son Eli. And then I started school at Sacramento State University. And so things were really looking up. And then about halfway through that first year of college and my son's first year of life, things sort of took a turn for the worst. And the relationship that I had been in all of my teenage years with my son's father was actually becoming very violent. And there was physical abuse, there was verbal abuse, there was several different types of addiction. And finally I decided, I'm 18 years old, my son and I are not safe. This is not okay. And so again, I turned to my parents and I was nervous about what they would say, but they actually met me with grace and they supported me and they told me that they wanted me to live in their home and to see me finish college. And I was so excited really that they had met me with grace, and I was excited for this new chapter of life. And right about the same time, something just kind of didn't feel right in me. And so I decided, I'm just going to calm my nerves and I'm going to take a pregnancy test and just reassure myself that that relationship is fully over and I can fully move on. I was actually too afraid to take a pregnancy test in my parents' home because my dad had always said when I got pregnant the first time, okay, I'm over it. I'll help you. You can live here, but basically don't you dare get pregnant under my roof again. And so I thought I'm just going to take this at the grocery store and go on with my day. And I went into the grocery store bathroom, sat on the floor by myself, and within about 10 seconds, I was staring at two bright pink lines. And that, of course, meant that I was pregnant again. And this time around, it was completely different. It was like I saw my life and my son Eli's life literally flash before me. I pictured myself and my son losing everything that we had worked hard for and everything we'd been given. I pictured my dad kicking us out. I figured that I would have to drop out of college because I didn't have anybody to watch Eli. And so right then and there, really before even leaving that bathroom, even though I was Christian, even though I considered myself pro-life, I decided I had to have an abortion and that no one would ever know about it. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but it was something I had to do. And of course, the way that abortion is marketed is it kind of seemed like a magic eraser almost, like I could erase this problem and move on with my life. And I also found online a ton of information about medication abortion, and it's completely marketed towards someone just like me, somebody that's young and in school and can't go through the surgical procedure and needs to hide this from their parents. Websites say that it's less invasive and about a third of the cost, that you can go back to school or work the very next day. And I thought, okay, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need to have. And it's sort of, the American way, just take a pill and your problem will be over. And that's exactly how it seemed. I went to my first clinic and the clinic was kind of cold and literally in a shadier part of town, and I wasn't treated very well. And I remember waiting in this room with all of the other girls that were set to have their abortions that day. And people ask, how does a girl, especially a good Christian girl that considered herself pro-life, end up in a room like this? And the best way I can describe it is if you're driving down the road and you've mapped it out and you have everything planned, and then all of a sudden it starts to rain or it starts to get foggy or it starts to hail and you feel like you're losing control and you just think, oh my gosh, this is now unsafe and the only thing I can do is get off the road. I need to take the nearest exit out of here because this is headed for nowhere good and I can no longer see my planned destination. And that's how this crisis pregnancy felt to me. It threw a wrench in my plan, and I could no longer see how I was going to achieve all the things I wanted to achieve. And it was scary. And I felt like I was losing control. And so I took the nearest exit out of that situation, and that was the abortion clinic. And I think that probably everybody in that waiting room that day felt the very same way. So that's how girls, even like me, end up in rooms like that. But when I was pulled back into the final room, all set to have my abortion, the woman went to go take a sample of my blood, and she tried and she tried and she tried, but she couldn't find a vein. And so she said, "I'm so sorry. I can't find a vein. I can't take your blood, and you can't have your abortion today." And so now I'm within 5 or 6 days of the cutoff, which was 9 weeks at the time in the state of California. I'm again getting more pregnant, getting more attached. I'm panicked. This is the third time an abortion clinic has turned me down, and I totally didn't think it was God. I completely thought it was frustrating. And so they made a follow-up appointment for me. I came back. I got a doctor's note with my blood type, so they didn't have to take the sample of my blood. They told me how to get temporary emergency Medicaid, so I didn't have to pay for it. And I walked in with my 2 pieces of paper, handed it to the clinic worker, and was pulled back into one of the last rooms in the Planned Parenthood clinic. And I'm sitting there with the woman, and she actually had the first abortion pill with her. And she's saying basically everything I already read online. "You know, Rebecca, this is going to be really natural. You shouldn't expect much pain. It'll be much like what you go through with your cycle every single month. Don't be too worried." And I remember starting to tear up. And she said, "You know, Rebecca, just because you're sad doesn't mean you're making the wrong decision." And I thought, okay, here's a woman who sat in this room with hundreds, maybe thousands of other girls just like me. She's seen it. She's seen it all. And surely she knows that I don't want to be here, but this is the best choice, and I'm probably not going to regret this. And so with that, she handed me the first pill, and I swallowed it in front of her. This is the mifepristone RU486 pill. And she basically said, "This pill, once you take it, there's no going back, and this will end the pregnancy." And then I was given a second set of drugs to take the following day, and I was just told that this would expel the pregnancy. And I didn't think to ask how or anything more. And by the time I got to my car, maybe 4 or 5 minutes after taking that pill, I sat down, and everything just kind of hit me. It was like that fog that I was trying to operate through lifted, and I could now see very clearly what I had done. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I just killed my baby. I'm pro-life. I'm Christian. I don't even believe in abortion. I'm a mom. I have a baby at home. How did I just do that? And I realized that the day was March 13th. And that 1 year ago to the date, I was actually in labor with my son. And that March 14th, the day I was supposed to finish the abortion, was Eli's first birthday. And I thought, oh my gosh, March 14th is forever going to be a day that I brought one baby in this world and took another one out. And there I was thinking, oh my goodness, I cannot go through with this. I can't wake up tomorrow and think I've just killed my child. And so I prayed right then and there outside of Planned Parenthood. And I just said, God, if there's a way out of this, please help me find it. And if not, please help me to forgive myself, because I'm feeling at this point awful, like a grieving mother who caused the death of her child. And thankfully, this time I prayed before I turned to my phone, and I'm looking, and I found the Abortion Pill Reversal Network. And I was connected to a nurse who eventually found me a doctor 2 hours away, actually George Delgado's brother. And he basically said, I don't know if this is going to work, but I have hope and I'm willing to try. And I stayed on the progesterone treatment for the remainder of my first trimester, so about 6 or 7 weeks, and I carried to term. Of course, Planned Parenthood said that I would probably miscarry or that my baby could have severe abnormalities because of the abortion pill that I took. But thankfully, that didn't happen, and that's not true. And my son survived, and he is a perfectly healthy, almost 6-year-old that started kindergarten earlier this month. So his name is Zachariah, and he's normal. He is a blessing. Basically everything that I thought was going to happen, me dropping out of school, me losing my family's support, my children never having a dad, things like that, were not true. And this life is better than I could have ever imagined because of the help that I received.
Wow, that's an incredible witness. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Sarah, let's turn to you. Share us your story.
My story starts when I found out that I was pregnant with my 4th child. at the age of 26. And I was a single mom. And so when I had told the father of my son, I ended up having a little boy. When I told him, what are your thoughts when I told him I was pregnant? And he jumped straight to abortion. And so I scheduled my appointment at Planned Parenthood. When they first called me back, I went in for an ultrasound. And they were like, I was only about 5 or 6 weeks. I think I was heading into the 6th week. They were able to detect a heartbeat. And I mean, even they were kind of like, oh, we can already see a heartbeat. And I remember them looking at me and saying, if the fetal heartbeat bill was in place, you would not be able to get an abortion today. And in my head, I was like, well, I don't really want to be getting an abortion anyways. But I was remembering just how much my child's father was like, we need to take care of this. You need to be responsible. This is the responsible thing to do. And so both the doctor and the nurse watched me take that first pill. And then they kind of explained how it would go. But they did say I had to come back within a few weeks to make sure that it had actually been a successful abortion. And then they also made you sign off saying if it's a failed abortion, you have to come back in and get the surgical abortion. And I went home and I just cried. I couldn't stop crying, honestly. And then I had to go get my kids from school and from daycare. And it was just awful. I couldn't even look at my kids without just wanting to break down. Because I was like, I have you 3 in front of me and I love you and, we're making it. And why does this baby not deserve that love? Why does this baby not deserve to get the chance to live and be loved and be a sibling? And so I was starting to think, what if I just don't take those other pills? Would I be able to save the baby if I didn't take the other pills? So then that's when I got online and was like, what to do if you take the first abortion pill, what happens if you don't take the other pills. And through all those different random searches, I came across the abortion pill reversal hotline. And I called and I didn't really know what to expect. But I was blown away when they told me that there was a local doctor who was part of their network and who knew the regimen. And so they were like, just wait, we're going to call them and see if he can get you in today. And they were able to get me seen by this doctor within right out 24 hours from taking the first pill. There are actually a lot of women out there who regret taking the abortion pill. It's usually something I think most of us turn to when we just are told we can't parent a baby, whether it's our first one, second one, or fourth one. But I am just very grateful to the abortion pill reversal that they're there and that it worked for me.
And now you have a perfectly healthy baby boy.
He just turned 6 months, and I mean, he is already army crawling all over the place. And he literally wakes up with a smile every morning. And I just say he is the happiest baby ever because he's happy to be alive.
So, doctor, how does a woman who's in a crisis pregnancy, right, who has taken the first pill, how does she get a hold of you or the nearest doctor who can help her make a different choice at that point?
Well, Bob, most of the time women who have started the medical abortion process and changed their minds and want that second chance at choice, either on their smartphones or on their computers, they search online. And what they find when they search online is a great website called abortionpillrescue.com. And there, this website and this network is run by Heartbeat International. This was the network that I founded back in 2012, previously called Abortion Pill Reversal. In April of 2018, Heartbeat International took over the management of that network and the website, as well as the hotline, so that it could be expanded and grow nationally and internationally. And they've done a wonderful job of doing that. And the website, again, is abortionpillrescue.com. here it is on the screen right now. And you can see a woman would land on this homepage, and she has the opportunity to do several things. One is she can go to the Spanish section, which is great because we have many Spanish speakers in our country. She can go to the frequently asked questions page, which answers many of the questions she might have. She can go to a great section called Abortion Pill, and Abortion Pill gives her a wealth of unbiased information on how the abortion pill itself works. There's also an opportunity to contact Abortion Pill Rescue, as well as setting up a chat session. And the chat session is down at the bottom on the right, and you can set up a chat session instead of having to call. So they have the option of just doing the chat or calling the 800 number, which is at the top. And either one of those will get them in contact with the option line operator. Then the option line operator will transfer the call to the Abortion Pill Rescue nurse on call. The nurse on call then can fill in any information gaps, make sure that the woman understands exactly what's going on. And then if the woman is well informed and decides she wants to choose reversal, then the nurse would then connect her with a clinic, physician, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, or midwife in her area who's qualified, capable, and willing to help her. Then that handoff is made, and that practitioner or clinic then will assume care of that woman and start the abortion pill reversal process.
So is there something the average person can do to help?
Absolutely. So to help support this very needed research, they can go to stenoinstitute.org. They can read about the Steno Institute and they can donate there, or they can send us an email if they want to donate another way. They can also spread the word about what we're doing with the Steno Institute. The other way they can help is by supporting Heartbeat International. They can go to the Abortion Pill Rescue website, abortionpillrescue.com, and they can click on their donate button and donate to help support the network and the hotline so that the word can continue to get out about abortion pill reversal through the Abortion Pill Rescue network.
Thank you so much, Dr. Delgado. This has been very educational. So, Dr. Mail, basically, if someone in this area, Cincinnati, Dayton, Northern, because it's the Archdiocese of Cincinnati area, is the primary audience of this podcast and video series, if they were to call this number, Abortion Pill Reversal, how likely is it that they're going to be close to a doctor, and how does that treatment part work here in this local area?
I know of 2 doctors in the Cincinnati area that are signed up with the Abortion Pill Reversal Network, and there may be more, but there's 2 that I know of. Then I know in Dayton myself, and then in Sydney there's also one. So scattered through north and south part of the Archdiocese, there's going to be really someone within an hour, even a half hour of most of the people in Southwest Ohio.
We really appreciate you talking to us about abortion pill reversal and the process and how it is that if someone has, particularly if someone has taken that first pill and then is having second thoughts and wants to keep this baby, not only is it possible, but it's possible without carrying also any concerns about side effects or birth defects or anything like that. So thank you so much for your time with us today.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate being able to be with you today.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for your interest in abortion pill reversal.
Thank you for having me, and I hope this helps someone in crisis at some point.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share it with you.
Hopefully we can get the word out so that more people who might have a change of heart after taking the first pill or even avoid taking any of the pills in the first place, get the message of hope that there are people out there who are willing to help women who are in a crisis pregnancies. And I want to thank all of our viewers and listeners for tuning in on this episode of our Being Pro-Life series. Head to the website and view all the links talked about in this episode at www.catholiccincinnati.org/being-pro-life. Thank you again for joining us today, and I look forward to being with you next time.